Good afternoon, guys. Vino here. It is Monday, March 30th, 2026. It's a little bit after 6 p.m. right now. I've already had my cup of tea, so definitely settling in for the rest of the evening here. Didn't get a chance to record the last 2 days, I believe. I think I may have done a Friday or maybe like a Thursday video. Again, my memory is a little bit spotty right now. I'm kind of feeling the late night lack of sleep catching up to me now. But yeah, just wanted to make sure I can express myself to start the Monday work week here. My work day went pretty normal. No big difference there, but I just could not, for the life of me, sleep on time last night. So it was almost midnight, and then again I woke up at like 5:30, 5:45 a.m. So realistically, running off of about 5 hours of sleep, I know some people have it worse, but I need at least six and a half to kind of manage my workday with a neutral manner for handling any kind of frustrating people and situations. I still did pretty well today. Not my best performance, but I feel like I kind of hit everything on the dot without too much of errors or delays. But the good thing is, weather is really nice today. It's like 18 degrees outside. It's quite warm. I didn't even have to like wear a hat or anything like that. And the sunlight is really helping a lot. It feels good. As I said, sunlight is always that you need that vitamin D that gives you a lot of good energy. But yeah, I think I'm really glad that we are getting this because who knows with the way that it's technically not officially spring yet. And we've got the long weekend, Good Friday and Easter Monday coming, or Easter Sunday, I guess, coming up pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that for the end of this week. It's a little bit too early because we just started the work week. But yeah, I think we don't know what we're gonna expect for the weather. It may suddenly decide to rain on us, and we gotta deal with it. But as usual, any sunlight that I can get, I'm always gonna appreciate it as it comes by. Um, but beyond that, definitely want to talk about like just in the manner of like being an optimist, being a pessimist, and being a realist. And as time goes by, seeing how much the world is run and controlled by the top 1%, 0.1%. Um, it's like I'm not even surprised anymore. Like I'm glad that there's a lot of other YouTube channels that talk about world news, and it's one of the reasons why I still keep up with the YouTube channel Philip DeFranco. He's one of the longest kind of news content media form that I consume on YouTube. And not every news that he talks about is relevant to me just because he does talk about a lot of US politics, which I'm not always a fan of. But again, I need to stay informed. That just gives me some level of consciousness and not being too much on autopilot, I guess you could say, about what's happening around me. Um, but yeah, it's really astonishing, but again, not surprising that so many people are able to accumulate wealth, and like I always think about this, like we never know when we're gonna like die. Like our time is so finite, and you can't take this level of wealth with you uh, once you're gone. But that doesn't stop these kind of zero point 0.1 or 1% population from hoarding all of that wealth and continuing to live their extravagant lives at the expense of normal citizens and normal human beings, or at the sacrifice of really struggling kind of people and populations around the world. So yeah, that's the thing. I want to be optimistic about the way the world is going, but I think with how much the world has changed in the last 5 years, even since pandemic times in 2019, 2020, I can't believe it's all 2026. Like time just keeps on going by. And as I said, I've become a pessimist in the sense that I just can't feel hopeful of things getting better. And I see a lot of people working hard to have a good life, and I'm seeing a lot of people fight the good fight and protest and do signatures and be vocal online, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, all the social platforms that they can be. They're fighting for things to be right and for the better of everyone. But the realist in me knows that the world has been run by these kind of like corrupted people for decades and decades, that we are all just like puppets on a string in some level, and some puppets are more useful than others. So it's sort of like that old saying of history will continue to repeat itself, which is again definitely happening now. But it's also like, no matter how much you talk about certain things or do certain things, there are kind of loopholes in place that will always be like a get out of jail free card for a lot of these like bad characters that are running the world. Um, and as much as I don't want to be negative about it, and I know that you do have to stand up for what's right, and I do follow those kind of morals in my day-to-day life. um, I think being the nice guy, being the good guy, the older I get, it's never like a good position to be at. Not that I'm saying like I would ever sacrifice my morals or like become corrupt in that sense, because I think my internal compass is always like, you know what, even if I get hurt, I would still rather do the right thing than, compromise my morals. Um, but again, like I can see that the world continues to step on the good guy and hurt him or her a lot. So that's kind of the expression that I want to give, and the idea I want to give you guys today. It's been on my mind a lot, even though I'm in a pretty good mood because of the sunlight and everything. I think I needed like some place to kind of word vomit this out, because it is a reality. And again, that's why I mean I'm more of a realist, because I know that there are certain things that will never change no matter how much we talk about it. If the actions don't happen, and if things don't change for the better of everyone's health and wealth and like well-being, then it's never going to like make a big mark on making progress for everyone. So it kind of reminds me of like my own kind of mini goals that I set for being more productive on certain days, or going to sleep on time, or not doom scrolling, all these things. Those are all things that I can work towards, and it is a personal matter. But when your luck of the draw in like where you were born, what kind of like economic status you were kind of sorry economic status you grew up around, obviously, as I mentioned many times before, I'm always thankful for the things I do have. And I tell myself that constantly, like, hey, like, don't be ungrateful for your health and the fact that, I'm not like a super unhealthy person where I have any medical conditions. I'm not like living in poverty to the extent where I cannot like feed myself. But I think there's a large population of millennials like myself, including also the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, all the generations after mine, that we are just coming to the terms, if not the resignation, that because things are never going to change, we are literally going to work until we die. Um, if not, we might die much faster, with really like seeing no change for the better in any form. And that's kind of, again, not to be like a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but I think it needs to be said out loud more and more, because there are some things that are controllable in life, and I have mentioned this a lot before: uncontrollables and controllables. And the only thing I can control is myself and my actions and my words and my thoughts. And I have to think before I speak. And I'm trying my best to live by those rules, and though that kind of like self mantra, I guess you could say. But yeah, definitely. There are some days that are a lot harder to get out of bed and be like, okay, here we go again. Like, we gotta start the next work week. Weekends go by very fast, and that's the toughest part. Um, but yeah, I think I never thought that I would get to this age and see so much like change for the worse. And it's one of those things, as I mentioned before, about like technology has gotten so good and it's supposed to connect a lot of people, but really we have become so isolated in many ways. And sometimes because of that kind of reinforced environment of negative behavior and negative experiences, um, I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who are self-isolating majority of the days after they finish work or after they like kind of do certain tasks and chores. We literally don't have the energy to go out and do certain activities to improve our health, like our physical health, or to be more social and hang out with people outside of our home. But again, I am taking small steps to break out of my shell more, not in the shy sense, but just in the socializing more in general. But yeah, I think that is exactly where I want to kind of stop this at, because I think as long as I kind of express these kind of inner thoughts as simply and as clearly as I can, even if it feels like hopeless at times, saying it out loud gives me some level of relief. Um, and there's a very like whimsical part of me that wants to be an optimist. But as I said, the older that I get, even though I still feel like a kid sometimes, even though I'm like literally 32 and I'm seen by the world as an adult, I'm trying my best to hold on to that kind of not naive, but the kid in me who looked at the world in a more brighter manner. Um, and even today, like there was like I think it was an Instagram video that I came across, like maybe like after lunch or something. It was this dad who like is picking up his daughter from daycare or like preschool. I don't know what it was, but he knows she likes, like his daughter likes rainbows, and so he was very excited to like get her out of the daycare or the school and take her outside in that sunlight and show her the rainbow. And just that like small moment of just pure whimsical like innocence and joy and like love, for each other, for like the daughter, the way that she kind of, you know talk to her dad, and like happy that her dad decided to share something like that with her. And likewise, the dad taking the time and the initiative to share that moment with his daughter. Like, I don't think I ever want like kids or anything. One, I can't financially afford it. Two, I don't have any partner realistically, which is again nobody's fault but mine. But three, I just don't think people should be like bringing children into this world, especially with the way the world is becoming worse and worse in certain aspects. Um, I think bringing a child into this world is such a huge responsibility. And, uh, but again, like that moment in the video of just the dad and the daughter kind of showing such adorable, like paternal, like, love to each other, and the daughter just being happy to see a rainbow with her dad in the sunshine. Um, at least for a few seconds of that video, I felt like a weight off my heart and my mind kind of went away for a bit. And then it came back as I realized, like, okay, that was a sweet moment, but now back to my own reality of life and the things that I have to get done for the work week here. But yeah, sorry if I was super like kind of all over the place and depressive near the end of that video, but yeah, just wanted to express myself in this video journal, mostly for myself today. But again, Monday wasn't all that bad, even though I didn't get good sleep, as I mentioned before. I feel like I did perform pretty decently. So I'm going to take my wins little by little where I can get them. But I hope your Monday went well. If you guys are getting some sunshine in your area of the world, enjoy that. Hopefully, it'll continue. and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.